Hello, welcome back to Being in Nothingness. Alright, so last episode we beat 2 levels. I liked that a lot. I liked it. It was a very nice feeling. Anyway, that means that this episode we finally get to move on. And so we're going to go back to the Island of the Guardians. Yeah. So here are what I assume the 8 boss levels from the 8 different worlds before. And then there's something up there. I'm not going to open that yet, even though that's technically openable. We're going to see what that is eventually. But for now, I want to work on these 8 puzzles. I'm going to assume these are all 5 bean puzzles. Since there were no 5 bean puzzles down here, the rest of these are probably 8 5 bean puzzles that I have to just solve in a row. So yeah, I've managed to save the hardest puzzles for myself. Alright, let's begin. We will start off with World 1. That would be the world with the bombs and the rollers. Also, a vine and a cloud for some reason. Also 3 beans. Oh, okay, well it's not that bad then. According to the... Yeah, so this is just 3 beans. I thought it would all be 5 beans. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so we have a bunch of red beans. We have... Actually, don't we have the ability to make as many beans as we want? Question, don't we have the ability to make as many beans as we want? Yes, because I can do this and I can gain... Okay, so I can make as many beans as I want. This is a... What can you do with an infinite number of beans puzzle? Okay, this gets us in there. I cannot have any beans here. Oh, so somehow I need 2 beans to make all of this work. Well, that certainly feels impossible. Could I set up a machine here? I could maybe set up a machine here. I need a lot of bombs, but I only need bombs. So I need 3 bombs total. I guess that's why 2 beans is given to us. The 2 beans will definitely not make 3 bombs. But I need to convert these 2 beans into at least 3 beans. And so there must be something occurring here while I'm doing stuff here. So for example, a recipe change must occur here. But I can't put a vine onto any of these spaces. I was hoping that if a vine could... Question, can a vine temporarily... increase the number of... Actually no, how do I'll make that happen. I wanted a vine to pull a bean across another bean, but in this level that shouldn't be possible. Okay. We'll go back to 5 beans. The 5 beans technically will get us more beans, but the reason why I'm given 5 is probably because that's all I need to solve the puzzle. Maybe not though, there are 3 different recipes, so to have one correspond to a different recipe, I need at least 6. Maybe not. I suppose a vine can pull a bean across and change recipes, but... Maybe I can make like a loop, you know? Yeah, maybe I can make a loop occur, but if I did make a loop occur... no. I think what I need is... I could make a loop that alternates a bean between these locations, but I feel like that's not what I want. I need eventually, I think the world to have a recipe of 3. It needs to start with a recipe of 1, and then become a recipe of 3. So could it be maybe a rotation of beans across here to alternate your recipe? Could I do that? Which square of 4 is valid? Maybe like a rectangle, yeah. I want How do I want to do this? I could do... I could do roller here, 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 and here. And then another roller down here. That doesn't seem right though. No, I don't think that's what I want. Okay, how else could this work? It has to be, I think, a vine doing all the work up here. Because once I'm down here, I can't get any rollers and bombs to do work. And I can't have a machine using those only that lasts long enough for me to come here, get a roller to exist, and then turn that into 3 beans. I don't think that's possible. A roller can hit these two, but that's not the most useful. I still need to destroy 2 rocks, which means a total of 3 beans at least is still needed. Yeah. So, like, this definitely seems like 1 roller and 1 bomb. So the only question is, how in the world am I gonna get that to happen? Let's try the technique that I mentioned, I guess. Okay, so I will want a vine here, here, and here, and here. I'll just see what that does for now. This might not be the most ideal setup. It's a very nice setup, but it doesn't work. Yeah, the recipe of the bomb does show up here. So a vine holding a bean actually counts towards the recipe square, even though a bucket holding a bean doesn't count for some weird reason. I need this to be a vine, but I can't do that quickly enough. I guess I could start off with this bean being over here. No, because... I can always have an extra bean. Okay, so let's start by making 6 beans. I just want to check if this works. I think it should. Everything down here and push. Okay. 6 beans. I mean, one of them will eat all the beans, it's whatever. Ah, stop it. I'll put both beans down. Oh, come on. What is that chicanery? Sure, I think this should work. Okay, so this is a setup that works to turn the recipe of the bomb from 1 bean to no beans. I'm wondering if I can actually get this to work for this to slowly grab beans and pull them in this direction. I think this is unlikely. I could theoretically also have these guys down here, but... yeah, I could also have these guys down here, so it'll make like a full square going around this way. The only issue is that, how do I then make it so that a recipe increases? I can never make it so that a recipe increases, because the bean will always be in a vine's hand or underneath a vine, and we know a vine can't be on a recipe tile. So I feel like in that case, it would basically be impossible for there to be a bean in your hand plus a bean underneath on the recipe square at the same time. Yeah, so that's the underlying issue, right? How do I get the recipe to go from 1 to 3? I feel like it can't be yeah, 1 to 3 is difficult. Like 1 to 2 is already a problem. But I could potentially get it with like a bomb exploding. Like a bomb could explode and then a vine could grab beans in its direction. I don't know if the timing works very well for that, but yeah. But 3? How does 3 work? Is it actually 3? It must be 3. It must be a recipe of 3, because if it were a recipe of 2, I wouldn't gain any... Well, an explosion could occur here, which would blow up this. Then I would only need 2 bombs. Oh. So a recipe of 2 is fine. Yes, okay. Turning a recipe of 1 into a recipe of 2 is okay. Because I can use 1 explosion on this. I just need that recipe of 1 to become a recipe of 2, which shouldn't be difficult. No, because if there were already a bean on you, how could there then be a vine grabbing over the bean and putting it there? No. Okay, what about a roller that... Could a roller stop here? Yes, it could. And the roller could be killed by a bomb. Okay. So for example... like that. For example, that gets a roller here. And if a vine were to grab like a bomb, say, and then explode it, then this would become a recipe of 2. And this works particularly well if there were already a bean here. How could that already be a bean here? I don't know how that could already be a bean here. Like, if there were already a bean here, then the recipe would be invalid, no? Could it be 2 rollers rolling against each other? That wouldn't work. Okay, but it could be a roller and rolling into another roller, I guess. Yeah, like that. Okay, I guess it could be a roller rolling into another roller, sure. So now there's a roller with a bean underneath. If this roller dies on this position, it will generate 2 beans. But then the question is, how do I make a bomb now? They both need to be recipes of 1. So I feel like the oscillating motion of the vine is necessary here. But then how does a recipe of 2 occur? I don't know. How does a recipe of 2 occur? Does it have to be that? It's just 2 beans, right? Yeah, I can't do anything with 2 beans. I mean, let's just say, I guess, we start with all of this. We'll start with this typical setup first. Oh, careful. So at this point, we now have the recurring... This is a very nice setup. It's very clean. I'm not sure how to get it to work. I'm not sure if this actually works. I can start with a We'll put a roller, I guess, here. The roller gets rid of all of those blocks. But now what? I can get a roller to explode. Oh, and that's it. That's all I need. Because the roller will die. Of course. Okay, because the roller dies, I can use that final bomb on you, and the explosion can occur here. Okay, there you go. So... okay, I think I should have timed this a bit better. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, and now I need to get the bomb to explode when the red bean is on this tile. Which should occur... how about now? I don't think this works. But one off. Alright, we'll wait one turn. And then push. There you go, one bean. And I can finally spawn my final bomb. There it is. Okay, I had to ask myself if the setup that I assumed was necessary really was or not. It wasn't. I thought I needed to generate beans down here, but it didn't, because there was a much more efficient route around these 3 blocks than I thought. Okay. Also, we can read this now. Oh, Frank wrote this. To whoever finds this, hi, I'm so happy you managed to make it this far. I should tell you a little more about our new home. As soon as we got there, it was clear that we'd found the right place. It was the most beautiful, lush, untouched land any of us had ever seen. And food and water were never going to be a problem. The weather was perfect basically the whole time. I was worried about hurricanes when we arrived, but there hasn't been much more than a heavy rainstorm in 5 years. We set up a small camp in a clearing with some huts and space to work, and over the next few weeks we moved all our stuff there from the temple. None of us had any clue where the world we could possibly have ended up though. We haven't run into any sign that other people were over here, and we've never seen a boat or an airplane or even any satellites in the sky at night. I'm not even sure it's the same planet. Interesting. So they're just out there, I guess, and I guess we have to find them? Could that be the exit there? Maybe. Would that imply that they solved that puzzle? If that's a puzzle? Oh. Looks like we have one... I guess bean. We have one bean to open. Do I need all 8? I need all 8. I thought this was openable from the start, but no, I need 8. Okay. Alright, well, with that, that's this level done. Let's do the next one. Alright, so Island of Buckets. That's the same 3. Hey, wait a minute. This looks so familiar. This is like almost identical to this level. Yeah, the exact same arrangement. Almost the exact same switch arrangement. But now it's switched. And this is a 4 bean now. Okay. We're gonna have some problems, definitely. It's fine. Alright. So a single bean. We also have the 2 yellows. This is a one-way. And we have 3 yellows as a result. Red bean blocks here. This opens you up. Aha! I think I had this exact thought when I did the level first, because like, okay, firstly there is a winding path I can walk to shoot here. I think that's really interesting. But yeah, I can access this area somewhat even after going through the one way. I was thinking this needed to be a bucket. In that level, the idea was to get this to be a roller, destroy the roller while there was no recipe. Therefore, there'd be no bean. Because this would have been a square red switch, this would have been off permanently. But now that doesn't work. I think now this needs to be a bucket that I can shoot over. So it needs to be a roller that dies. It needs to be a roller that dies. Then the roller becomes a bucket. So the recipe needs to switch from being a roller to a bucket. And then I can shoot over the bucket while there is weight on this switch, which converts this into a bomb which lets me win. So yeah. And the idea I had was just a bucket going through that bounced off something. I would like to know why that isn't possible. Well, okay, I can definitely start with just you here, Why don't I have a bomb here, and then I set the recipe of the bucket to yellow? Because I want a yellow to bring this over and swap the recipe out. So that now... Yeah, okay. So bomb goes in, swaps the recipe out. I definitely want to start with a roller here coming down here. A bomb here. Which means I need to swap the recipe. I drop the recipe here. Bomb shows up. It bounces off. I set the recipe of the bucket to red. I blow up. Oh, not yet. The recipe still needs to be... Hold on. We might have a bit of an issue here. No, I have a third bean, and I think I know exactly what. This bomb shouldn't be here first. The first bucket goes... Yes. Yes. The first bucket goes in to just move this bean over. This bean doesn't do anything. That's what the winding path is for. Okay. So bucket number 1 goes in. I spawn a second bucket. So bucket number 1... Yes, I can shoot over buckets. I can now set the recipe of this guy to be yellow. Oh, I don't want you to there. Oh. Actually, it's okay because I can shoot again. Oh, there's a bean in the way. I don't want you to pick that up. We do have an issue. Oh. Okay, this might be a bigger problem than I thought. Because I was definitely just thinking... Wait, so the issue with this is what? And how can I fix that? Sorry, let me grab this. So bucket. So I get the roller down first. I need to kill the roller. I see. I think that's the issue that I am having. I don't think it's possible to drop you anymore. Yeah, so at this point I must have been able to kill the roller. So the bomb must have been able to get through here at this point. But I can't do that. Can the bucket send in... I was hoping that this would happen. But you can definitely see an issue now, which is that... Well... There's no way the roller can die to form a red bean. Because the bucket does weird nonsense with it. Yeah, in an attempt to push you in here, the bucket does weird stuff to this bean. I'm not sure if I can fix that or not. Well, I can definitely start by just doing this and doing that. That will set your recipe correctly. However, I do note the issue being that this bucket can never return you to this point anymore. So yeah, at this point, it is no longer possible for this to come out here. Because I need something here. I mean, I have a yellow bean here, but... I need another bomb here to bounce you back. So there must be like 2 bounce backs, but I can't make 2 bounce backs. Right? Do I definitely want to start with... Yeah, I definitely want to start with this being a roller. Maybe I don't want it to be a roller right now. Or maybe you can... Maybe, hold on. Maybe you can be a bomb first, and I remove this bean to put it here. Then I put the roller bean here. And the idea is that this will become a second bomb. Maybe. Okay. Well, we have some issues, which is that... Actually, this space is very restrictive. I can't push a bucket to collect a bean here. That's kind of annoying. And also, I can't even send a bucket in yet because the recipe for the bucket isn't set. So it's almost like this is forced. I can send you to potentially like drop a bean here, but I don't see how... Could I have put in... Like, if there's a bean here, it's always gonna block this. Like, I think that's just the problem. And you keep that red bean. How? I have another red bean here. I guess that's interesting, but not really. Oh, also you picked up the red bean. Oh, that's not good. Right. That's exactly the problem. This winding path doesn't give me enough time to get you. No. I could have left a bean here. So now you can bring a bean over. Which I guess is nice. But it doesn't tell me anything. Like, I can't shoot here though. And like, that's not gonna help. This is just not gonna help. Okay. We need a different plan here, I'm pretty sure. This doesn't work. I think the idea is still correct. I need to get a roller here, kill it while the recipe is red. Then change the recipe to bucket equal 1 red bean. Shoot that to become a bucket. Then shoot across it. While yellow. Or bomb is yellow. Or roller. Something. Anything here can be yellow. Yeah. There is this winding path. Which implies the fact that it might be possible to come down here to shoot up here for something. And it seems like maybe that's a blockage of some kind. It therefore would seem to me that I do this to start. But I can't do this because if I did, you would just grab the red bean and leave. And I can never shoot past you to turn this into a bomb. Yeah, it just isn't possible to set the recipe of the roller to be red at this point. I guess it's interesting I could potentially also have another roller. Do I want another roller? Actually, maybe, yeah. Why not? I mean, you can follow, you can definitely just follow. I'll wait for you to come back, because you will act as a blocker. Oh, okay. That's kind of a problem, hold on. That is kind of a problem. If I did this, do I have time to walk past you? No. I don't quite want you to come over though. Because if you did come over, it's not easy to send you back. Like, at all. Yeah, I don't know what I can do with this. Hmm. I just need to do all of this stuff. So like, no. Yeah, what can I do at this point? I can do a lot of stuff to play around with you, but nothing really helps me. And like, you were meant to be a blocker up here anyway, which you're not doing anymore. So like, how's that supposed to work? This is as good as it gets. This is as early as I can get across without being seen by the roller, but this will never work. Yeah, this just never works. So, okay, well then roller being a stopper is no longer a good idea. It seemed useful at first, but it just isn't anymore. Is it the blockage, not blockage, the line of sight it just is there too easily. But the bucket has to do what it has to get here and then bounce off, right? So the end goal is a bomb here, bomb, roller. How do I get it to... How would I get it to, Well, okay, let's try this to start. I wanted to leave a yellow bean here without taking this red bean with it after it crosses that line. It would be possible if either it was moving towards the left or what? It has to be moving to the left. But if it moved to the left, you have to bounce off a bomb. I don't know how that's going to work. Like, the other possibility is... it just takes that bean with it and just goes away. In which case I wouldn't even have a bomb here. How about... how about... if there was a bomb here... I'm thinking that, like, potentially this... could this ever be a bomb? If it was, I could never change recipes ever again. And I think that's bad. That has to be a bucket to start. Maybe like... oh no, wait, but the recipe isn't there. That's a big problem. Huh. Okay. So the problem is, if the recipe was in fact here... so this would work to get the red bean there. I don't have any more. So now we're stuck. Now we're stuck. Now we're stuck. Okay. This bucket didn't have to be a... it could be a bucket somewhere else, I guess. So I remember this being part of the whole story. And then me not understanding what happens next. I have no idea what to do at this point. It needs to be a backward moving bucket. And that backward moving bucket has to be bouncing off something. Is that true? Yes, I think. Because there's nothing else that could transport beans. Okay. Could it be a roller? How in the world would it be a roller? I don't know. Can I get it to bring the red bean to me? Like, okay, it needs to put a yellow bean here without grabbing this bean. Right? Either it's moving this way or it's moving backwards. I think moving backwards is better when it drops the bean. But the issue is that if it does that, it would necessarily already have bounced off something. That something being probably a bomb. Possibly another bucket, actually. Yeah, why not it be another bucket? Well, if it were a bucket, it would also be lost into the water. It's the exact same as a bomb. So now it's impossible to... it's impossible for there to be a stationary blocker here. The only one that could actually be a stationary blocker consistently is the roller. But we all know that's a problem. Right, I mean, even if I could walk through here, it would just be a problem. So, can't do anything about it. This is the exact same issue. I mean, not necessarily. Well, necessarily? Okay, hold on. Could I get a bucket out of this bean over here to actually do stuff for me? Like, what line could it take that wouldn't destroy it instantly? No, there's no line. There's no line I can reasonably take. Yeah. So does the roller can't go backwards, I think. That's just the truth. It can't like go backwards and then drop this bean here. Or even if it could, right, that wouldn't lead to anything useful. Because after it did that, then what? It would need to bounce off something again. So the idea is it needs to bounce off something twice. The next question is that possible? Could it bounce off something twice? Is it the same thing? Or is it a different... Like, the reason why I'm here is potentially... Okay, the reason why I will be here are for two reasons. Two possible reasons. Either I shoot upwards, or I attract the roller downwards. If I did attract a roller downwards, for what reason would I do that? To let a bucket out? Maybe. Why? No idea. Then yeah, so eventually there's going to be a bucket. I need to ask myself again, is there actually a bucket that's here? It is, right? Because there needs to be something here. And I need to shoot upwards, or downwards in this case, to get it. So there must be something here. Sorry, something here. It's probably a bucket. And I can only put a yellow bean here. I can't put a bucket manually. It has to be from this bean. Could it be that the roller turns into something else that isn't red? Ah. Okay. Okay. What if the roller turned yellow? Well, how would I... We'll try. Let's put the bomb down. Put you here. We'll lose the red beam, which is fine, because we don't intend to get a red beam back. So here, do that. So I need you to come here first. Do that, and that. We got a bunch of movements going on. Okay, at this point, I think I want maybe I don't want a second bucket. Let's try not having a second bucket. I want the roller's recipe to be yellow. Okay, roller's recipe is back to red. Wait, that means I could afford to lose the red. Okay. The explosion just occurs a lot later. Okay. Let's say I'll save here. Let's say the bucket's recipe is red for whatever reason. Which is a really bad idea. And let's say I then moved a yellow bean across. Oh, well in that case, hold on. This might be a problem. I mean, yeah, that's interesting, I guess. But now there's absolutely no way I can get the bucket's recipe to be yellow. The roller's recipe is yellow, but there's no way I can get a bucket's recipe to be yellow. Also, there would be a clash of... No, there wouldn't. Okay. If I got another bucket to push in the yellow, the bucket could put a yellow down here, then remove the yellow from here. I think that's really cool. Okay, so... I mean, let's say, again, you dropped your bean here. Whatever. The reason why I don't like that is because I need to let the yellow bean be here. Let's just say that happened, I guess. I don't think that's useful. Right, because I also need the... I need it to be yellow? That feels even worse. I'm confused now. Maybe that's not what I want to do. Maybe instead... No, I'm really confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Instead, the roller... Why would I want to shoot up here? You shoot up here to activate a bomb? But that would imply that the bomb wasn't there to begin with. So like, maybe is it that... If the bucket recipe is here, there's no way I can drop the red bean here. Because I'll need to shoot past this bean, which isn't possible. There's no way I can get a bucket to drop something here. Let's say that we lose the red bean entirely, and we lose one bucket entirely. I don't like losing the bucket because... Well, it's not too bad for now, I guess. Okay, let's start by doing this. We lose the red bean, whatever. I need to set up another bucket. Then the bucket will set the recipe of the roller to yellow. Oh, hooray, but... Oh, if there were a yellow bean here, you would grab it. I would say that it could become a roller. But like at this point, isn't it too late for that to happen? For that to do anything useful for me? Yeah, right? I find I'm missing so much here. I'm missing so incredibly much. There's still a lot of options I haven't tried, probably. It has to be roller here, yes or no? Yes. Yes? Yes. I can't push anything into here. There's no way I can do that. Then... So roller here, bomb in here, then roller becomes a bucket. Yes or no? What else could it be? If it were nothing, then nothing would be standing here. There must be something actively standing here while barrier is down. Yes, I think that's a very clear indicator that this must be a bucket. For me to shoot past it. Which means roller has to die with an active recipe. Then whatever that is has to become the bucket recipe. Yes. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Because if roller dies on nothing, then there's nothing here. I don't think I can turn it into a bucket. Whatever roller dies into, I can't add or subtract from that. Yes or no? Yes, I think. Therefore, roller recipe must be immediately transposed to bucket recipe. The exact recipe. It is probably a red bean, but could also be a yellow bean. I haven't found a good setup yet for a yellow bean though. Actually, I have an idea. Do I? Maybe not. There is no bouncing back and forth except maybe like along the horizontal for the bomb, and vertically from here onwards for the bucket. Okay. Well then, how about... Could a bucket do that? They constantly be changing its own recipe. I think I'm okay with that. Okay. I can definitely set a bomb here. Can I? Question, can I? How do I get this to grab a bean and put it in there? Well, now it's that, but you've lost a bean, and it's unlikely I can get you to come back at any... Yeah. I already did all I could with the 2 beans here. Can't do anything about it. Am I okay with this setup? It loses a lot at the start. Like at the start, it seems useful, but we lose so much functionality over it. Like that's 2 beans right there for this machine. So I can't make any other preparations. And I have to immediately go into the next area. Which means that, speaking of preparations, could I send a bean across here? Why would I want to do that? If this were a bucket, could I ever get it to come down here? I don't think so. Yeah, it definitely seems just the most useful to get a roller here and just blow it up. Because there's no other way for anything else to work out. So what could I shoot up here? Let's say that were true. I was shooting something up here. The most obvious option would be a bomb here or a roller here to act as a blocker. Alternatively, or additionally, I can also shoot from here to drop a bean. I don't know if I like that or not, because if a bucket were to come here, drop a bean, it... Well, the bucket would have to be moving back here first, and then I have the blocker here while I take a long walk this way. There's no way I block the block the bucket and I walk here. The winding path forces a very long time before I get to shoot up here. So yeah, it has to be either a bucket moving backwards plus a blocker here, possibly another bucket, or a long period of time of like inactivity where there's nothing moving, where I can take my time to walk here and shoot upwards, prepare stuff, and then come back. I realized it could actually be a roller here that rolls down and it gets blocked by something here. But what's the difference? Yeah, what is the difference? I don't think I can do anything about this. I could get it to roll down and then I shoot something to block it and then it acts as a blocker. Why wouldn't I just put the bean here? Well, I mean, it is in a different row. It is in a different row. Huh. I could do something about that. So the idea is that I will come down. So, but can a bucket bring something across here? A bucket could bring something across here, but that's not a useful location. And the idea is that I would attract the roller downwards, and I would shoot this tile to become something. But I don't think that's possible. Yeah, I don't think so. Then do I come up here and create a bomb? If that's the case, there's a lot of interesting considerations that have to happen. Because, like, Well, the one thing I could see, like, causing that to be valid, right? Hmm. Actually, maybe not. Whoa, what in the world? Yeah, this bean is so in the way. I don't know how to get rid of it or avoid it. I'll go around it. Do I go around it? Like, I can't create a bomb. That's really the big issue. I can walk here and shoot already, but why would I not just create the monster while I was here? There must be a reason this monster doesn't exist yet. And what is that reason? The only reason I can think of is so that something can walk past it. But why would I want anything? Why would I want that to happen? Do I want to lose a bean? Maybe is the red bean really that much of a problem? Yeah, it's possible that's a reason. Yeah, like that. Then I spawn the bomb here. I push the second roller across. That will change the recipe. The question is, can I do that while pushing you in? Might need to be a bit later. Okay, we'll wait and then shove. Whoa. Hey, look at that. Alright, I asked the right questions. What in the world is this for? And I didn't understand how that worked. I did not plan out that solution at all, but just by asking why something is there, I guess it forces a certain setup, which then gives me the answer. Cool. Alright, that was fun. A lot of confusion. I don't know why that worked in particular, but I suspect it was probably because the red bean wasn't there. I had to intentionally lose the red bean so that it wouldn't block my way. Okay. Well, I beat it, but this book isn't open. Why is it... what? Hello? Rabbit? Oh, this one's open. What? Okay. I guess I'm solving the puzzles this way, but like, each book is not connected to the island. It's just read in this order or something. Sure, why not? I guess it's because you can play these in any order you want. And so like, it is difficult for... or like, lore-wise, I guess. It wouldn't make sense for the books to be randomly ordered and yet still give a coherent like storyline. So rather than each island connecting to a certain book, it's the books all open in a certain order, which makes more sense to convey a story. Charlene Dalton wrote this one. Whoever finds this, once we finished building our new home, I suddenly found myself with more free time than I have in years. Maybe decades. Except for a few vacations here and there, my whole life since graduate school have been research, writing, reviewing papers, teaching, and committee work. The whole academic system keeps you so focused on climbing the achievement ladder that you never have time to ask yourself if you actually want to be doing any of it. This is not to say I've stopped working. In fact, I think being free from the pressure of academia has made us all more productive than we've ever been. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I mean, it means the same thing. Without conference deadlines or tenure to worry about, we all have the time we need to make each puzzle a work of art it deserves to be. It's hard to express how much more valuable the work feels when the motivation comes from within. Cool. I feel that is actually really true. This video was recorded at the end of March. It's early April, but essentially the end of March. I finished an event called Enigmarch, which is basically a month-long event where every day you have a puzzle prompt given by a certain someone. I have no idea actually who gives that prompt, but then you have to make a puzzle in that day about that prompt. And I feel like throughout the entire month, my motivation to make puzzles decreased consistently. And that was more because I didn't really want to follow a prompt anymore. So in the same way that academia gave you the cause you to lose motivation, or I guess increase your stress about it. Just losing motivation in general makes it very hard to do work properly, which is something I completely agree with. Okay, well, with that, I think we've beat 2 levels today, which is great progress. Next episode, we'll move on to the next one, which is probably going to be this level. That looks really complicated. I'm a little bit scared, but all is whatever. Yeah, okay. I guess that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.